This time,
you're pushing close to $7,000 just to start the trip.
Team Triton's cash crisis hits a new low.
Hang on!
As their pots and propeller collide.
Not a massive. I'll get that one on.
Can the mad genius turn it around?
Get out of the road, mate. No, mate, get out of the road.
This is a bloody disaster. Why have I done this?
The lobsters have all vanished.
These deep ones are nothing in them.
As a mysterious creature strikes.
Not very often I give up, but I've given up tonight. This is a disaster.
Boy!
And can Skipper Paul's next level dinghy gamble
Means we go to number one.
keep paying big dividends? The Bold Contender, and skipper Squizzy is motoring 35 kilometres southwest into the Southern Ocean. Team Bold Contender's strategy is to hunt where other skippers don't want to hunt, to new unfished waters.
Pέντra Blanca is the fish are bigger to start with. It's a place where you do all right or you get nothing.
I said it's like a washing machine up against that.
Squizzy's going to try his luck here. At the formidable Pέντρα Μπράνκα Island, famous for its monster waves, not ideal for lobster boats.
This is Eddystone Rock. I think it's a spectacular place to look at. You're miles away from the mainland of Tasmania and you've just got a giant rock just coming out of the ocean. I have a bit of a saying sometimes that Pedro's in an arsehole of a place and Eddystone's 4 miles up it.
Squizzy's season target is 1,900 brindles.
Yep.
He's already got 916.
The target for this trip is 700 kilos. Do that. That puts us right where we need to be for our target for the month.
And the current market price is still holding strong at $110 per kilo. If he meets his target, he'll hit that magic $110,000 figure he needs to pay his bills.
Take him over that next bit.
That's gross profit less Tabor's 15% cut.
If we don't get this, I have to mortgage the house. And with that, I suppose, once you mortgage that house, there's always a risk you could lose it. And that ain't happening. I'll work my butt off to make that not happen. It was a massive gamble for us to leave where we've been. We just caught 700 kilos in 5 days and we just walked away from it. And we've come here to try our luck here, so it's a huge gamble.
Lobstermen always have to keep moving from spot to spot, so they don't overfish an area.
Still big sea on and pretty uncomfortable. Just a lot of rocking and rolling.
It's like being a little baby getting rocked back to sleep.
Yep. That's the worst thing about Pedro, there's nowhere nice to anchor. So we'll be just anchoring in the middle of the ocean. That's the downfall about this place. And that's why a lot of people do stay away.
Yeah, the anchor will hook onto a bit of rock and keep us there in one place. The normal anchor is only designed to get the chain down to the bottom. It's actually the chain that will hold you in place. This one's the other way around. Anchor will hold us in place.
Touch wood.
It's critical the anchor takes hold. If not, the Bold Contender will drift, and that can be fatal.
In this job, you know, it only takes a split second for something to really go wrong. My wife, Kari, we live in the flight path of the rescue helicopter, what flies to the southwest. As soon as that flies down past home, she will give me a ring to see if we're all okay. So it does, I think it does play on her mind, especially when that chopper flies over.
Hunter Island, northwest Tasmania. Skipper Steve and deckhand Jamie are pulling in a shot that's been soaking overnight.
That's good. We're getting to about to the halfway point of the trip, so we're a bit behind on our target.
The season target for the Ella Rose is 600 big red lobsters, 50 a day.
Nice one, Jamie. We're going to have to really rely on these last few shots to pull out some good numbers.
Back at the Hersey's restaurant, stocks are low. It's crucial Steve hits his target so the restaurant can keep serving up fresh sea-to-plate lobsters.
This is lobster bolognese. Very popular dish here. Come on.
A flash of red's a good sign. But not every big lobster is a keeper.
Bloody hockey, Jamie.
Yep. Been bashed up before by octopus. He's got no legs, they're all...
You can actually see that this guy got damaged a long time ago. Yeah, so he's actually been fighting like that for a while. So we'll give him another fighting chance. Like, obviously we can't do anything with that sort of fish, so hopefully he'll turn into a breeder, man.
That would have been a $250 lobster. Lobsters can regenerate their legs, claws and antennae. If that one makes it to next season, it'll have half a chance of breeding.
Couple there, Jamie. Yes, mate. Probably go over 10 kilo that pot. There's 3 big clangers in it. So that's an over $1,000 pot, mate. That's nice to see. That's cool. It makes the boys happy.
With a running tide, deckhand Jamie is in an arm wrestle with this pot.
Bit deep, that one, Jamie.
It's either stuck,
Come on, you...
or full to bursting. Team Anson's Bay is winning. They've already exceeded their season target of 500, and they still have 2 days of fishing left. Just enough wriggle room for a little fun.
Just tucked my gumboots off and swapped into Glenn's Uggies.
It's a big day for Decky Jake.
Yeah, they're a lot more comfy and it's definitely a lot warmer in here, so...
Yesterday, he won a job switch bet with his boss.
So we just got 37 out of them 21 we had the bet on.
Looks like I'm the skipper tomorrow. For a little while, anyway.
Jake gets to put on the captain's slippers, crank up the heater in the wheelhouse, and shoot 12 pots of his own.
You ready? Here we go.
My Uggies on and...
You wasn't joking.
Heater going.
You want me gloves too?
Skipper Glenn has to put on his wet weather gear and be decky for the day.
One piece of advice.
Yep.
When you're setting, don't have rudder going that way when it's in gear, otherwise the pot will come back down through the prop. You know that?
Yep.
That's the only bit of advice I'll give you. Because you've been so cheeky, you can do it old school way. No computer today. We've got some marks there to go off if you want to drive around them. Jake's not going to have the 3D, but he'll have the sounder. We've got to let him have the sounder, otherwise he might drown the pots on us. You've got to know how deep it is. Should be all right, though. Should be a bit of a fun. Yeah, hopefully old Jake gets a few crays. I hope he gets a few.
Yep.
First one in for him.
The Jager family is working as a 2-boat team, hunting around the southwest coast of Tasmania. Team Kaikoura is engaged in a high-risk but potentially highly profitable kind of lobster fishing.
We're ready.
They're 3 days into a 5-day trip. They have 245 in the tank.
Low tide.
It is, yeah, real low.
Boy!
That's going to happen quite a bit this trip.
Very few lobstermen are willing to get this close to the shore. But that's where the big reds can grow into monsters. Catch a few of those and their kilo per pot ratio will go through the roof.
Where Paul works most of the time, working in a dinghy, if you've got a pot close to a rock or something, which we've done in the past, you can actually sit on the rock and watch the crayfish actually go into the pot
few in him. Nice. Oh, I've got full confidence in Cracker. He's been coming around here since he was a kid. How many years is that, Cracker? About 50 years? You're 60 now, aren't you? It's near getting up to tractor size, that one. Nice big fish in the shallow waters.
Back on board Anson's Bay, Jake's learning making a buck is not as easy as it seems.
He'd be in there trying his best, old Jake. Like, he'd be wanting to get as many as he could, so, he wants to be a skipper, so it's bloody hard when you first get behind the wheel. You got to really know what you're doing. It just all comes natural to me, but Jake hasn't had a go at it yet.
Without the 3D plotter, Jake's struggling to work out where to place his pots.
Normally only takes us about an hour to set 50 pots, so the way we're going will be an hour here setting 12.
Fishing is all about location, location, location.
Make it a good one.
Yep.
When it comes to setting pots, you've got to take into consideration the tide. You've got to be trying to find the right bit of bottom you're after. You've got to spread your pots out and have a good look and try and work out what the crays are doing. So you've got to be pretty switched on. Yep. Oh, you got the pressure on me this time. Must be all right in there with Uda going, is it?
Nice. Yep.
After 14 years in the wheelhouse, skipper Glenn is struggling to keep up in his new role as deckhand.
Oh, they rip me. He's got me puffing now. As long as he puts it